today. Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the title?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Congratulations to the UCLA women's basketball team. They overcame a 14-point deficit in the fourth quarter to beat USC for the Big Ten Conference Tournament Championship. Final score, 72-67. First conference title for UCLA in women's basketball since 2006. 17 points and 4 steals for Bruin center Lauren Betts. Juju Watkins led USC with 29 points. Both teams should get a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. The Lakers will be without LeBron for at least 2 weeks. LeBron has a groin injury. The last time LeBron had this issue, he missed 17 games last season. The Lakers are at Brooklyn tonight. Kawhi Leonard's hook shot at the buzzer lifted the Clippers to a 111-110 win over Sacramento in overtime. Third straight win for the Clippers. Wide receiver Devontae Adams, a 6-time Pro Bowler, will be in a Rams uniform next season. Adams signed a 2-year deal worth $46 million. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, this is Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and for over 20 years, Parkside Economic Development Corporation has served Leimert Park and surrounding communities, empowering tomorrow's leaders and changing lives. Parkside EDC has awarded over $400,000 in college scholarships while sharing economic principles of the Big Five of money with students and their families. Parkside EDC partners with organizations like the Brotherhood Crusade to assure our youth have the financial acumen to succeed. Parkside EDC provides families and businesses with financial insights, offering free online, on-site, and on-air B-Warp presentations. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Programs helps our community acquire, sustain, and pass down legacy wealth. High school seniors can apply for this year's scholarship awards at parksideedc.org. Scholarships will be awarded at Parkside EDC's Gospel/Jazz Brunch on Sunday, April the 27th. For details, tickets, or donations, please visit parksideedc.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Checking your smile, working your back like it's going out of style. Shake just a little bit faster. Shake just a little now, girl. I'm dying to meet you, so let's mess around. Got an obsession with us getting down. Come just a little bit closer. I just need permission, so give me the green light. Give me just one.
I'm Tavis, Smiley, delighted to have you with us in this hour of our program. As promised in this hour, 2 conversations, all related to Elon Musk. On the B side of this hour, I drive a Cybertruck, and I'm sick of people flipping me off. I wish they understood how helpful this car is for me. Okay, that's the title of a piece. I didn't write it. It's the title of a piece that Dr. Angela Kenzslowe wrote for Business Insider. Got tons and tons of reads and reviews in Business Insider. Frankly, I hate those Cybertrucks. I was parked next to one of them yesterday, or tried to park next to one yesterday. I couldn't get in the spot. They took up all the space. But I hate those Cybertrucks personally, and I am no fan of Elon Musk, the oligarch who owns the company that manufactures the truck. Nonetheless, I am going to let Dr. Angela Kenzslowe press her claim about her Cybertruck when she comes in studio on the backside of this hour. But we commence this hour in conversation with our friend, progressive car critic Jamie Kitman, who is here to talk about these violent Tesla boycotts and what they could mean for Elon Musk's company as well as the industry writ large. Before I open Jamie's mic, let me give you some sound. This is sound from a variety of, from various, I should say, protests around the country. But this is what's happening outside of Tesla locales all across the country.
Elon Musk has got to go! Elon Musk has got to go!
That's some sound from these various protests. New York, Chicago, Georgia, all across the country. They are protesting Elon Musk. Jamie, this is radio, so the audience can't actually see this. They can hear it. But here's something that's rare. A bunch of white folk in handcuffs. Elon Musk ain't having it. And these white folk at these protests are being arrested. If you're listening right now to this program, driving your Tesla or your Cybertruck, I got something for you as we move in this conversation. But I'm delighted to have Jamie back on this program. Jamie, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Man, if I complained, I'd be an ingrate. I'm always thrilled to be in conversation with you, and I'm doing okay, all things considered. Let me ask a couple of broad questions, and we'll jump into it. So, what do you make of these protests? And they are increasing. They are escalating. They become some of them have become violent. What do you make of these protests against Elon Musk?
Probably overdue in some ways. I'm against violence and vandalism. I should just state that up front. But most of this is nonviolent. And what's been surprising to me is just the police presence. People are obviously anticipating, that there could be, acts of vandalism or violence. But it is, as you point out, it's kind of surprising at who they're arresting. Yeah. I was at the Women's March in New York on Saturday, and we went from Washington Square Park up to Union Square Park, which is really like not even a mile, sure. Possibly half. We passed a Cybertruck that was parked on the road, and I was sort of in a group that was like, pint-sized grannies, like old women, and there were 7 policemen surrounding the Cybertruck parked on the street, which of course reminds us, that's from the very first, before America was even its own country, police existed to protect private property. Yeah. But I think, to answer your question, I think it's emblematic of, a real change in Musk's fortunes, very clearly related to his politics. The stock market is basically been turning on him. Mm-hmm. They had a 91% boost, I think, in share price when Trump got elected. That's all been eaten away now, and you get to the underlying, financial picture of Tesla, which is that they have a fairly stale model line. The Cybertruck has been pretty much a disaster, right. Sales-wise. They had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of reservations. People aren't cashing them in. Right. Tesla won't take Cybertrucks in as trade-ins now, suggesting that they're not so encouraged either. Sales are down wildly in many countries where he's meddled in their local politics, supporting the neo-Nazi German party, for instance, not popular at all. Yeah. And even here, where sales were slower to slide, they've been forced to do really heavy discounting, which is always the sign of a company that's having trouble selling cars.
Hold that thought, Jamie. When we come forward, there are Hold that thought. Yeah, Miles jumped on me here. Hold on. I'm getting there. There are a couple of things I want to ask you about when we come forward that you've already teed up, not the least of which is why you said earlier that these protests against Elon Musk may be long overdue. I think I get it. I'll let you unpack that, number one. And then I want to talk about this is an interesting conundrum. We're going to talk to a lady who drives a Cybertruck later in this hour, as I mentioned. But this line, this dichotomy between your politics and your personal choices, particularly if you're making a choice that you originally made because you wanted to buy a car that would protect the environment. I get it. We'll talk about it with Jamie Kitman when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. Think about your mentors and idols, the people who inspire you the most. While it may look like they have all the answers, they don't. But they do know when to ask questions and seek the support they need. In a world that glorifies hyper-independence, it's easy to forget that we're all better with a support system. Therapy is a great way to find a consistent source of support in your life, so you can break free from the outdated belief that seeking help is a sign of weakness. BetterHelp has experienced therapists ready to help you with challenges ranging from anxiety and depression to relationships and stress. It's convenient, too. You can join a session with the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. You can even send your therapist a message anytime something comes up. Build your support system with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/ABCRadio today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/ABCRadio.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
A new day is on the horizon. Who paved the way for the leaders of today? An untold number of remarkable women, known and unknown, who shaped our past and continue to inspire our future in every field of human endeavor, education, civil rights, technology, and more. Celebrating Women's History Month, we are KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
It does indeed, with Jamie Kitman talking about Elon Musk and all these protests. They're literally setting these cars on fire, Molotov cocktailing these vehicles. Some of these protests have turned violent. And again, nobody supports the destruction of property. But one could argue that Elon Musk brought this on himself. One could argue, as Jamie Kitman did, I'll let him unpack it in a second, that this protest is long overdue against Elon Musk. But for all of my friends right now who are listening and drive Teslas or drive these Cybertrucks, here's a message for you from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
We don't have to argue with anybody. We don't have to curse and go around acting bad with our words. We don't need any bricks and bottles. We don't need any Molotov cocktails. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country and say, God sent us by here. to say to you that you're not treating his children right. And we come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you are not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. And our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. And so as a result of this, we're asking you tonight to go out and tell your neighbors not to buy Coca-Cola in Memphis.
Now, for those of you who don't know King's corpus, don't really know his body of work, and y'all think all he did was have a dream, you need to wake up. He did more than just dream. Now, watch this. Coca-Cola is headquartered in King's hometown of Atlanta. And there you heard Dr. King calling for a boycott of Coca-Cola. Don't sleep on King. He was far more than a dreamer. You hear him suggesting that if you really want to hit somebody, you withdraw your economic support from them. You see where I'm going with this, Jamie Kitman. I don't know that there's anything else that Elon Musk will respond to, and God knows he has a whole lot of money at this point, more than anybody in the world. But I don't know if there's anything else he will respond to that may slow him down on his politics than hitting him in his pocket. And yet, I am sensitive to those persons who perhaps bought Teslas, bought Cybertrucks, because they care about the environment. They thought they were being a good steward of the environment when they bought their Tesla. But we see the way that Elon Musk has shown up now. If you'd done your research before you bought your Tesla, you would have known something about Elon Musk then. But now it's so on display. His vitriol, his hatred, his mean-spiritedness, his racism. It is so on display now. I don't know what to say to people who are still driving vehicles that he manufactures. It's tricky terrain. What say you, Jamie Kitman?
Well, yeah, I basically have that same problem talking to people who have them. But I mean, I would only point out, first of all, that people often, many Tesla owners can afford to take the hit, but the truth is that people will lose a lot of money selling them. Their resale values are really plummeted, and in part because of this, in part because Hertz decided to offload tens of thousands of Model 3 Teslas that they owned at low prices, and it sort of reoriented the market, as did all the price cuts on new Teslas, making people's old Teslas worth less money overnight. But I think that if you can afford to get out of them, that's certainly a good idea. The only other thing I was going to point out related to that is that if you look at the history of the automobile business, particularly in World War II, Ford were openly pro-Nazi. Henry Ford himself gave Hitler 75,000 Deutschmarks as a present in 1939, and Hitler had a picture of Henry Ford up on his desk, and Ford was building army trucks for Nazis while they were building army trucks and bombers for the United States. General Motors was building army trucks until 1943 in Germany and was expatriating the money. A lot of them like to say, oh, we didn't know, but, they really knew, and they knew exactly what they were doing. And Ford was converting to making military trucks before the Second World War. So that resulted, a lot of people won't remember, but, in New York in the 1970s and 80s, old people, particularly Jews, wouldn't buy a Ford because they knew that Ford was, supported Hitler. And, so they bought Chevrolets. It hadn't come out yet that the people who, including General Motors, who had said they were the arsenals of democracy and advertised heavily on that, were actually arsenals of fascism as well.
Yeah.
So I think that there's certainly a good case for losing your Tesla if you can, and I feel bad for you. But it was less clear. Musk. One of the things about the Musk is that in addition to sort of revealing his intensely right-wing and scary apartheid-like racist, sexist, drug-addled worldview. His commitment to the environment has waned as well. He's just in recent memory, he's said that we really do need more oil, which is crazy. And he's also the way he got rich was through taking government monies by essentially the program that allowed him to sell tax credits to other companies who were selling more polluting, less economical with gasoline cars. And now that he's was established, he's starting thinking maybe I'm against that for everybody else who would build an electric car. So he's so there's been a lot of reasons to be skeptical about him. It's really only in the last few years that he's really revealed his true self.
There are two questions that come to mind immediately, given what you've just shared. The first I want to get to anyway, so I'm glad you have taken me there, and that is whether or not there is, any historical equivalent of what we are experiencing now with these protests against Tesla. You made the point that there were persons who didn't want to buy Fords back in the day. We heard that story. I get that. But is there any – I'm talking now about public protests, Jamie. Can you think of anything equivalent to the public protests we're seeing now against Tesla in terms of car manufacturers?
Certainly around the apartheid issue in South Africa,
right.
There was a lot of protests against the car companies that did business there, Ford and General Motors.
Yeah.
And I remember, people getting arrested at my university in the late 1970s when the president of the university had said that he had a fiduciary duty to hold onto the stock, which was utter nonsense. But there's been some of that. This is particularly I don't know that there's a direct analog, certainly in terms of anything that concerns progressive politics.
The other thing that concerns me, I somewhat tongue in cheek said it, to my Tesla cyber truck driving friends. Here's a message for you from Dr. King. You got to hit Elon Musk, and you need to get out of that Tesla. And yet, all jokes aside, your earlier story that you shared over the weekend of seeing police in New York protecting a cyber truck, there's a legitimate concern here that if you're driving a Tesla or a cyber truck, you're driving any Elon Musk vehicle, that you could be targeted. Now, I know the black folk listening right now are saying, I wish a Negro would. I wish a Negro would. I hear you. I hear you all across the country right now saying that if you're driving your Tesla. But there are concerns that folk driving these Elon Musk vehicles may be targeted. That would concern me. I hear your point, Jamie, that they may be not easy to get out of because the resale value isn't what it once was. But I'd be afraid of somebody. Again, we're going to talk to a lady who owns a Cybertruck.
Good. Another example that just occurred to me was when the Hummer, the ginormous military vehicle, got turned into a civilian vehicle. General Motors bought it off the military contractor that built them. They bought the assembly line and everything. When the Iraq War started going badly, which is pretty much like on day 2, and you would see all these pictures of Hummers burning, when they've been hit by IUDs or IEDs. I always get them confused, but that their sales completely tanked. And I remember, because I write for car magazines, and I had to test one, driving around New York City, and people coming up and banging on it, and it was a little scary. They just really. nobody was going to kill me, but it was really like an expression of people's distaste. And, of course, it's a two-way street, which shouldn't stop you from selling your Tesla. But, you can think of the example of Bud Light recently, which had a sales crater because they were too friendly to some transgender person.
Since you went to, let me follow you. I only got 3 minutes left here. Is there a Bud Light moment in the offing for Elon Musk?
Well, I think there's something worse than the Bud Light moment for Elon Musk, because I think a lot of what he has. I mean, he is hats off. He's created like the biggest house of cards that anyone ever saw. None of his businesses, except for SpaceX, to some extent, really make that much money. You take away all the smoke and mirrors, and you have a lot of businesses that do make no money and are completely like they don't. His MO is to borrow somebody else's idea and then be the hype man for it. And with the recent revelations about what he really thinks about the world, he's become a completely ineffective hype man, and then you're left looking at companies that don't, the Boring Company disaster, Neuralink, kind of a disaster, and based on conversations I've had with scientists, complete nonsense. He basically has a dog and pony show and tries to bring people into his companies, and hopefully they'll invent something. So with the fall in his share prices, if he does to Tesla what he did to Twitter, there's going to be a run on all his businesses. But so I think. It's a pretty dire situation for him, actually.
His oligarch brother at the Washington Post, Jeff Bezos, his paper is reporting that since the inauguration of Donald Trump, more than a dozen violent or destructive acts have been directed at Tesla facilities. And so Elon Musk is catching it. As I said, in some ways he brought this on himself. For his part, Elon Musk has said, I only got 2 minutes left here. For his part, Jamie Kitman, Elon Musk has said that it is an organization funded by George Soros that's responsible for these Tesla protests. That's the way he sees it, Jamie.
Yeah, well, he has demonstrated a fantastic willingness to lie about things. Yeah. So I would say that I don't take pretty much anything that he claims to be a fact as factual anymore, right? If they ever were.
In the long, I could have asked this question earlier, but we got carried away in some other areas, and that's fine. I got 90 seconds left. I'll give it to you. You started by saying these protests against Elon Musk and Tesla are long overdue. In 90 seconds, unpack what you meant by that.
Well, Tesla has been, really. There's the suits for them against racism in their factories, which they keep losing and appealing, and they've lost some more. There's the fact that they've basically violated all the safety laws. They've failed to report vehicles that would require recalls. And they also have not, Musk said he wanted to spread electricity. Well, I've talked to car manufacturer CEOs who said, we went to Tesla in 2011 and said, let's share your technology. And Musk didn't want to talk to them about it and told them, you don't want to build an electric car. You want to buy tax credits from me, and you can give me $250 million. And instead of spending $1 billion on an electric car that you'll probably lose money on. So, so really he's been, he's sponged off the government, and he's lied about what. I mean, he got in a lawsuit with the founders of Tesla, claiming that he was the founder, and then pushed them out, and then he ultimately had to admit that they founded the company.
No, he's getting rich on our money, tax dollars, public money.
Oh, absolutely.
Shoring him up, but I digress on that. Jamie Kitman, progressive car critic. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate your time, sir. We'll do it again. Take care.
Okay, take care, Tavis. Thanks.
Appreciate you, man. When we come forward, I drive a Cybertruck, and I'm sick of people flipping me off. I wish they understood how helpful this car is for me. Written by a black woman named Dr. Angela Kenzslowe. We'll let her press her claim when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 things you should know with BIN News. Stocks closed higher Friday after a volatile week. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell stated the central bank seeks greater clarity on President Trump's policies before deciding on interest rates. Like Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison criticized calls for President Trump to pardon Derek Chauvin, convicted for George Floyd's murder. Ellison said a pardon would harm the Floyd family, but President Trump has stated he's not considering it. A magnitude 4.1 earthquake struck Los Angeles Sunday afternoon with an epicenter 6.8 miles southwest of Westlake Village. 3 smaller quakes followed near Malibu. No immediate reports of damage or injuries. And R. Kelly, despite his prison sentence, continues to write and perform music, claiming to have enough material for 25 albums in a recent podcast interview on Inmate Tea with AMP. He says he's also still working on getting out of prison. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Congratulations to the UCLA women's basketball team. They overcame a 14-point deficit in the fourth quarter to beat USC for the Big Ten Conference Tournament Championship. Final score, 72-67. First conference title for UCLA in women's basketball since 2006. 17 points and 4 steals for Bruin center Lauren Betts. Juju Watkins led USC with 29 points. Both teams should get a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. The Lakers will be without LeBron for at least 2 weeks. LeBron has a groin injury. The last time LeBron had this issue, he missed 17 games last season. The Lakers are at Brooklyn tonight. Kawhi Leonard's hook shot at the buzzer lifted the Clippers to a 111-110 win over Sacramento in overtime. 3rd straight win for the Clippers. Wide receiver Devontae Adams, a 6-time Pro Bowler, will be in a Rams uniform next season. Adams signed a 2-year deal worth $46 million. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
A new day is on the horizon. Behind every great moment in history, there's a woman whose story went untold. This March, KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates the trailblazers who changed our world. From Rosa Parks to Constance Baker Motley, from Katherine Johnson to Kamala Harris, these are the voices that broke barriers, challenged limits, and reshaped America. Join us all month long as we honor the women who dared to dream, fight, and lead. KBLA Talk 1580, amplifying women's stories that inspire generations.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
KBLA Talk 1580 is pleased to announce that like George and Weezy,
Well, we're moving on now.
earlier this year, we were named as semi-finalists for the American Climate Leadership Awards 2025. Wait for it. Wait for it.
You ready?
KBLA Talk 1580 was recently selected as one of 10 finalists being considered for this prestigious award. Hundreds of organizations, institutions, and even cities were nominated in the selection process. But KBLA Talk 1580 has made it to the finals. You're invited to watch live on Wednesday, April 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central, as Eco America announces the winner and the runner-up, awarding over $200,000 in prize money. To watch live, just go to ecoamerica.org to register and attend the online ceremony. That's ecoamerica.org Don't miss the presentation of the American Climate Leadership Awards 2025, Wednesday, April 16th, and wish us luck. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black. More honesty than you can handle. More empowerment than you can imagine. You're tuned in to Tavis Smiley.
We thank Jamie Kitman for sharing those insights about all these protests that are escalating across the country against Tesla, specifically against Elon Musk. You heard me say to Jamie that Elon Musk claims that an organization funded by George Soros is responsible for the protests. I'm not sure I buy that, but that's Elon Musk. As promised now, a conversation with Dr. Angela Kenzslowe. Her piece that she wrote for Business Insider is titled, I Drive a Cybertruck, and I'm sick of people flipping me off. I wish they understood how helpful this car is for me. Nothing like a headline to get one's attention, Dr. Angela. How are you today?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much, Tavis, for having me today.
I'm delighted to have you. You're brave to come in studio.
I had to come in studio. This could not be a phone call.
I'm so glad you came in. You drove your Cybertruck, I presume.
I did.
Is it parked outside?
It is.
Is somebody watching it right now? Faraji, Miles, somebody go watch your Cybertruck. I don't want nothing to happen to her truck while she's at this studio.
There is a gentleman in the parking lot, and I have Sentry mode on with the cameras recording.
There you go. You got your phone in front of you so you can see what's happening to your truck while you're inside the studio. I ain't mad at you. That's why you're smart. That's why you're Dr. Kenzslowe. So, first of all, tell me about the piece that you wrote. I'll get to the understanding of why you got the truck. But tell me what caused you to write this piece?
So initially, the reason why I wrote the piece, well, first, I'm a part of a Facebook group called Black Girls with Teslas.
Right.
And that was founded by Angel Settle. And I've been a part of this group now for 3 years, since 2021. Mm-hmm. And we've just had a ball. We've had a great time, with the tech. It's a nice little car club. And then over 2024, things started to change with Elon being more and more animated, right?
Right.
And I live in an area where Teslas are like Fords.
Right.
Everybody has one.
Everybody's got one.
It's either a Tesla. You can be at the stoplight. You see a Tesla, or you see a Waymo, which is the autonomous vehicle, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is I drive to different parts of Arizona, like the northern parts where it snows and it's a lot more rural.
Right.
And on those drives, I start to get thumbs down and people flipping me off. I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? Kids, they come up, they want to take pictures, they're taking videos, they don't care if it's at a stoplight, they'll just stand right in front of you. And so there was this dichotomy of here's how kids respond, right? Because it looks like a car that a kid drew, right? It's the car that I drew when I was a kid, right? Just these straight lines because I'm not an artist.
Sure.
And then you have some adults, because it wasn't all, it was just a few. And I was like, what? Why are you flipping me? You don't even know me.
Yeah.
I'm not Elon.
Yeah.
I'm not doing what he's doing. And again, this was prior to the inauguration. So I was under contract for the article prior to.
Okay.
And then the editor asked a couple of follow-up questions the day after, and then it was published that weekend, that Sunday after the inauguration.
After the Hitler salute.
After the Hitler salute.
Yeah.
Now let me just share something though.
Okay.
I phone banked for Kamala.
Yeah.
Twice. I also made videos for its what's the name of the? It was a company. I can't think of the name now. I just went on a.
It's okay.
Blank. But it was a company who reached out and asked me to do videos where they sent out videos via text to people who vote left. So progressives and then Democrats.
Got it.
And you have to do it in front of a landmark. So I did it in front of Four Peaks, which is in Arizona.
Sure.
Saying like, hey, go vote. And the reason why I want you to vote is because I'm for women's rights. So I'm part of the percentage of black women who are like, no, we're Kamala, but yet now I drive this Cybertruck.
Yeah.
So what do I do with it?
Yeah. You're part of the resistance.
Right.
But you drive a Cybertruck.
But I drive a Cybertruck.
How are you navigating? That's the ultimate in dichotomies, right?
Right.
How are you navigating it?
So again, right where I live, because they're so cheap now, and we have great infrastructure for electric vehicles. It's not until I leave that town that I start to become more concerned.
Sure.
And in the state that I live in, we're allowed to carry.
Yeah.
So I feel a little bit safer.
Yeah.
Or I'll now trade the vehicle with another vehicle that I have. I have a Hyundai that I can drive. But I don't have the means to turn the car back in.
That's what Jamie Kitman and I were just talking about. There are so many people who may be disgusted with Elon Musk and his politics, but you're going to take a huge hit if you can't afford, because the resale value is so low right now, so you're stuck with it.
Right. Yeah. And for me, the Tesla was a dream car from 2012 when I first learned about it. I had a Hyundai Elantra, and I was like, I'm not buying another car until my car can drive me. And then 2021, I finally got to that point to where I can now get a Tesla. And it helps. You know, I drive to, again, Northern Arizona, and I do these Social Security disability evaluations for marginalized groups. And it's better for me to be one person driving rather than people coming down from Navajo Nation or the Hopi into the valley driving 6-7 hours.
Were there climate, and if there weren't, you can tell me, but I'm just curious, were there climate considerations for why you bought an electric vehicle?
No.
Okay.
Oh, meaning
the Cybertruck.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still thinking Northern California when it comes to or Northern Arizona when it comes to snow. No, mine was all about function.
Okay.
So back in 2012, which was in the article or in the essay, back in 2012, I was a graduate student getting my doctorate degree, and I was going up and down the highway, and I had some significant health concerns to where I ended up having an emergency blood transfusion. So prior to my understanding that I actually had some things going on, I had a lot of fatigue, and I would take naps to make sure I was safe getting back up from Tucson to the Phoenix area. And then I held out. I'm like, I'm gonna drive this little Hyundai until I can do what I wanted to do when I was this little girl. So it was more about the function of the tech and being enamored with the tech and not knowing who Elon was. I didn't know back then that he was he was an investor and ousted Mark and Martin, who were the Silicon engineers who actually invented the tech.
That's right.
Right? It's not Elon who is the brains behind it. He did to Tesla what he's doing now to our country.
I asked that question in part because I said to Jamie, which I now will repeat to you, that I feel for those persons at least who bought these electric vehicles because they were concerned about the climate. And I respect that. I mean, I'm doing a lot of climate work. So I respect anybody. I have an old car, and I'm going to drive it till the wheels fall off. And I suspect that my next car will be something that's electric. Because I care about the climate as well. So I feel for people who bought this car out of concern for the climate, and now this idiot, has shown his true colors, and you're stuck with it because you can't unload it. So I there is a sensitivity in that regard. Here's a question.
Sure.
These questions don't really mean anything, and yet I'm going to ask it anyway because I say they don't mean anything. It's not like you can change it. If you knew then what you know now about Elon Musk, would you have bought the Cybertruck?
I would still be driving my Hyundai.
Okay.
And only the Hyundai.
That's a fair answer.
And back to climate change, the reason why I went with Hyundai is because of the miles per gallon. And so while I didn't go EV specific for that, that is part of the benefit of having an EV. But no, I have a Hyundai Tucson, and it has some of the lane assist, but it just didn't have the same tech that the Model 3 had. But no, I would not buy a Cybertruck or any other Tesla right now.
My sense is there are a lot of people who may feel that way, whether they acknowledge it publicly or not. He's shown his true colors now. I think people are just turned off by this guy. But you're stuck. Stuck like Chuck, as we say. You're stuck like Chuck. How did you told the story earlier, but how did you process? Let me ask a question now. When we come forward, I'll let you respond to it. So here's a question I want to ask. How do you process, to your earlier point, being flipped off by people as you're driving around in this Cybertruck? And I raised that because every one of us has agency to make our own choices and our own decisions. And I don't think, while I don't like Elon's politics, I don't think that folk ought to be put upon to be flipped off as they drive down the street, or have people throw eggs at your car or Molotov cocktail your car. Some of this stuff has gotten violent, as you well know. I don't think that people have the right to do that because they don't like the choice that you made. I will press you in this conversation about why you made the choice, but ultimately that's your choice. I don't want anybody, throwing paint on my mother because she has a fur coat on. I mean, we can debate that. But that's her fur coat. That's her choice. And that's what it means to be a human. That's what it means certainly to be an American, that we have choices to make. But when you start getting flipped off, people are looking at you funny, calling you names because you're driving a particular vehicle, that may be, pardon the phrase here, just a mile or a quarter mile too far. But I want to get your sense of how you have been processing people giving you the bird when they see you pull up in your Cybertruck. Dr. Angela Kenzslowe is our guest. She'll respond to that and more when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Interrogating and unpacking. That's what we do around here. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stopped, opt out. Individual results may vary. Consult a doctor prior to use.
You've lost so much weight. How'd you do it?
I got medical treatment for weight loss through Zelty and lost 50 pounds. I struggled for the longest time, but Zelty makes it easy and affordable to get weight loss treatment 100% online. Zelty providers can prescribe FDA-approved weight loss medications clinically shown to help people lose weight, like Wegovy, Zepbound, and others.
I've heard those medications can help you lose weight, but aren't they expensive?
Zelty can help get the medication covered by insurance, so it's as little as $0 a month.
What if you don't have insurance?
No problem. Zelty may be able to help you get other GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% off the price of name brand medications.
I'm ready to start losing weight. How do I get started with Zelty?
Just text.
Text SUNNY to 200-300 to get started today with Zelty and see if weight loss medications like Wegovy and Zepbound are right for you. Don't wait. Text now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text SUNNY to 200-300. That's SUNNY to 200-300. SUNNY to 200-300.
A new day is on the horizon. Behind every great moment in history, there's a woman whose story went untold. This March on KBLA Talk 1580, we're bringing those hidden narratives to light. Hear extraordinary stories of women who transformed science, politics, arts, and community. Women you've never heard of, but should know. Celebrating Women's History Month on KBLA Talk 1580, where every story matters.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Dr. Angela Kenzslowe. Here's a snarky question. I call it snarky from one of our listeners. I'll let you answer anyway. Hold on, Mr. Smiley. If Cybertrucks have Sentry mode, why, as Jamie Kitman said earlier, do they need 7 NYPD cops to protect them?
So I don't have the answer why that particular Cybertruck had to be protected, but I can say they're not impenetrable. The Sentry mode just records what happens. It doesn't prevent what could happen.
Yeah. So how have you processed? How are you processing people giving you the bird when you drive by?
So again, when I pitched that essay to Business Insider, I didn't have significant distress or anything of that nature. It was just more of an observation of how kids respond versus how some adults were responding.
Right.
But since that article, I've had death wishes sent to my personal email. There's a couple of Reddit conversations of, questioning my character and my integrity. One person sent an email stating, I hope that your Cybertruck locks up with you inside while it's on fire. Wow. So those types of things are a little bit more distressing. But what I have to recognize, though, is that because I'm just a regular American citizen, I'm someone that you can see at the grocery store, at the stoplight, I'm accessible.
Yeah.
My email is accessible. And Elon's not going to hear them, right?
Yeah.
The other people driving Teslas, the other people driving Cybertrucks, we're accessible.
Yeah.
And so when people are hurting, we from an emotional standpoint, lash out to what's the closest thing to be able to lash out against.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what we're seeing that's happening. And so what could best be for us is to just anchor within,
Yeah.
right? Take a look at what are my core values? How do I want to respond when things aren't going well? I mean, politically, economically right now, our country is just on fire, and when I bought this Cybertruck, we weren't there, but we're here now. And so what can we do collectively to come together, not target people who got caught up, because it's not a political statement. The people who are the political statements have Trump written all over their vehicles, whether it be a Cybertruck or a F-150 or, a Silverado. Then their politics. But again, back to that Facebook group with the Black girls with Teslas, there's women who have just had brain surgery and they find that the technology is helpful, right? But you're going to flip her off, right?
Let me ask right quick and watch my time.
Sure.
Inside the Black Girls with Teslas organization that you are a part of, it's been a lot of fun and games, as you mentioned earlier.
Right.
Have the conversations turned more serious in that group?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there's a lot of conversation about what do we do? What do we do collectively on, do we turn our vehicle back in? There's some people, and not necessarily out of that group, but we talk about it. There's people who are changing the emblems on their Teslas to get away from the brand, right? So you might see a Tesla with the Audi signal, or you might see, the bumper sticker that says F Elon, or, I got this before crazy Elon, or Elon became crazy. And so people are doing things to be able to find solace with themselves. And again, a lot of us, we bought this vehicle in good faith. We bought it for the tech or for whatever reason. Maybe it was just because it was cool. I think the Cybertruck is an ugly vehicle, but I'm a function purchaser, right? I never had a dream car until Tesla, and that was simply for the tech of it.
When we come forward in our remaining moments with Dr. Angela Kenzslowe, I'm going to say to her that I am not. Let me rephrase this. We just met. we discovered in this conversation during the commercial breaks that we have some mutual friends.
Yes, we do.
We have some mutual friends, which I was unaware of. But I'm delighted to know that. So I like you more just based on the friends that we have in common. So
good company keeps good company.
There you go. So I like you more just knowing some of your friends are. That said, if I were one of your friends. I'll finish that sentence when we come forward. There you go. If I were one of your friends, you're listening to Tavis Smiley.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like freedom.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found BenefitsCheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. BenefitsCheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada. Member FDIC.
A new day is on the horizon. Behind every great moment in history, there's a woman whose story went untold. This March on KBLA Talk 1580, we're bringing those hidden narratives to light. Hear extraordinary stories of women who transformed science, politics, arts, and community. Women you've never heard of, but should know. Celebrating Women's History Month on KBLA Talk 1580, where every story matters.
Texting
Privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Individual results may vary. Consult a doctor prior to use.
If you've struggled to lose weight in the past, this important message is for you because you could lose as much as 50 pounds or more with Zelfie. Zelfie makes it easy and affordable to get weight loss treatment 100% online. Zelfie providers can prescribe FDA-approved GLP-1 weight loss medications clinically shown to help people lose weight like Wegovy, Zepbound, and others. Plus, help get the medication covered by insurance so it's as little as $0 a month.
The doctors are super helpful, and the meds have been a game changer. It's the first program I've had success with.
Before Zelfie, I was unable to lose weight, even though I was eating healthy and exercising 6 days a week. Zelfie helped me not only lose weight, but I feel so much better.
Text GOAL to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie and see if weight loss medications like Wegovy or Zepbound are right for you. Don't wait. Text now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text GOAL to 200-300. That's GOAL to 200-300. GOAL to 200-300.
Made fresh daily in Leimert Park, Los Angeles, California. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley, Dr. Angela Kenzslowe. I got 4 minutes left here. So if I were one of your friends.
If you were one of my friends, which we are now.
We are now.
Yes.
And so since we are, we just talked to you as one of your new friends.
Go for it.
I'm not getting in the Cybertruck with you.
And that's okay.
Okay.
That is okay. I have my dear friend. He is my brother since 1997, 98. And when I had the Model 3, you know, and things, again, the country wasn't as hot as it is. It was fine.
Yeah.
And then we went somewhere and he helped me, like, showed me where to park. And I was like, okay, hop in and we'll drive over. And he's like, I'm not getting in that.
Yeah.
I said, what?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not getting in Elon's car. I'm like, this is my car. Harold Branch the third. I know you are listening right now.
There you go.
And, you know, no love lost. He's still my brother. I'm still his sister. And I support him in his decision.
Yeah.
You know?
You offered an interesting analogy. I found it fascinating about Target a moment ago.
Yes.
Off air.
Yeah.
Share that with the audience.
You know, we're boycotting Target right now, right? But I'm not taking back the items that I purchased from Target 2 years ago over the summer. I'm no longer spending money with them now. And so I can't take the Cybertruck back.
Yeah.
I can't afford to lose that money. I'm not privileged in that way. Doctor does not mean rich.
Yeah.
It means student debt.
Hold on one second. Miles, I don't know. Put that mic right quick. I saw a funny look on your face. I don't normally do this. Miles is my board op, as the audience knows. Why you get that look on your face when she gave the Target example?
That's my stuff from Target. That is my hair care product. That is my stuff. No, I'm not giving it back.
Yeah. Okay, so you okay with that?
I understand it. I get it 100%
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah.
I just saw sometimes I see these faces through the glass like, what was that about? He responded to your comment. But it made sense to me though.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, you know, we can move forward and say, hey, I'm not going to give my dollars here.
Yeah.
But I also can't take the money back that I've already spent.
Yeah.
You know, and as you were speaking with the gentleman beforehand, the Cybertrucks have lost significant, like I'm in the hole. Yeah. And that's a decision that I made, and that was a risk that I took that I didn't realize was a risk, and I have to live with that.
Yeah. It is fascinating, though, for those who may have just tuned in, to have learned that you were phone banking for Kamala.
Yes.
And
yes.
now getting the bird for driving a Cybertruck.
Phone banking for Kamala, making videos that were sent to thousands of constituents in my area to get progressive people and left-winged people to vote. And now I am called Nazi online. I'm called saying that I'm driving a swastika.
Yeah.
And again, I know we only have
swastika.
Yeah, but I know we only have a few more moments.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say that it's really the time for us to really anchor within, to during this economic time, this political time, to really look at what our own core values are and respond to things that way. Don't react.
Yeah.
Right? Respond to what's true to you. And if love and compassion and empathy is what's true to you, walk in that. Take time to do the things that you love and you enjoy so you can find your own peace. Take a media break. You know, I'll do 3 days with no media and then I'll watch it in a chunk so I can catch back up. And then, you know, we have like this bridge of unity. The conversation you and I have, you didn't know me prior to this. You didn't know how I was coming in. And, you know, I could have been like, yeah, pro these other people. But I'm not. And through conversation, you're able to figure that out.
Yeah.
And so let's just stay to who we are, true to who we are, and we'll be able to get through everything.
If you had done that,
in the next 1,411 days.
If you had done that, I would have got with you, but I'm glad you didn't. so I wouldn't have to get with you. But I love the way you close this conversation. That is the psychologist in her speaking. And there's a fascinating backstory of how she became a psychologist. Maybe next time she comes on, we'll get into that. But I just love your backstory.
Thank you.
And what you are doing these days with this degree. She is a psychologist, transformational leadership development consultant, Dr. Angela Kenzslowe, who wrote this piece for Business Insider. And I appreciate you coming in the studio to talk about it.
Thank you.
Good to meet you. Tomorrow, back here, Lord willing, to do it all over again. Until then, thanks for tuning in to Tavis, Smiley. And as always, keep the faith.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm